Anyway,
Yeah.
there's a lot of creativity out there.
What do we got here?
What is that?
What about pipelines?
Oh, that's very special.
I get 30 of them a week.
Yeah.
It's for Laverne, so.
Oh, okay. You probably don't need it, so,
And Craig.
yeah, probably don't need it then.
I'll be back.
That's a good idea. Thank you.
All right. I think we need to discuss selecting an elector for the canvas board.
You want to wait till Jennifer gets back from?
Oh, I can, yeah, sure.
Yeah, but I'll just ask you to think about the KAC conference because registration opens and then we can get hotel booked. Lynn has said that he's interested in attending. I don't know if you are. It'd be December 7th through the 10th. Just let me know before September 1 if you wouldn't mind.
I think I do want to go.
Okay.
What about the pipeline?
I was thinking every other year, but
Okay. Well,
Well, this,
I think go last year, I don't think. I didn't
resigned this.
you did, but I don't think you were able to go to all of it.
really.
So we'll just go ahead and have her get registered.
Okay. Yeah. These are, that's fair. Read through those.
So I know we need to talk about selecting the elector. Selecting for the election canvas board. Yes, so that's still point then, so very formal. Very nicely done.
Who was? Do I keep this?
What do you got?
You have to
Do
sign
it
it. when you-
today.
Yeah.
Yes, that's on your agenda today. So yeah, just sign it and then we'll put it in the file. So I double checked with Aaron to make sure we had the language correct for filling the canvas board positions. And there's a copy of it there for you to take a look at. So.
We'll do this in the meeting, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
So let's, I guess, basically what was talked about was maybe appointing, I think it's talking about,
Yes.
Margaret Rothschild. And I guess we can flip flop who's replacing who, but for Commissioner Roller. And then for Commissioner Peterson, it'd be Marcia Schneider.
Correct.
The staff thought, I agree, I don't know where you guys are.
I'll sustain because I'm on the ballot.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't think about that.
Excuse me, technical.
Absolutely.
And you're on the ball there.
There's
missed
no
it.
vote on it. It's just
This is a statement that's going to be read,
just a
so.
statement.
I got the statement here. I filled those names out.
Okay.
I don't know that there's much more needs to be talked
No,
about.
you consulted with the county clerk as the elected official and should be pretty straightforward on that, so. So I would like to talk with you about the RFP. So I kind of outlined some things in the email that Martin and I have been concerned about and worried about and figuring out the best way to proceed with this. I had hopes, probably naively, that we would end the contract by now. And we talked about it too, and we're not getting any traction. And actually, we did speak with Aaron. Should we have Aaron send them a letter asking for the contract? But I don't know if that's gonna do us any good. And honestly, you know where we're at with the solid waste facility and what we're facing with that. The goal ultimately would still be that we would take that service over. But it's gonna take us a few years to set money aside to be able to do something like that. And I'm working on the resolution to do an increase to the special assessment that occurs annually. And plan on bringing that to you next month. But we also need to look at some of the other fees. Our fear is,
One thing I would say we should ask for the request for proposal is so when I reset the fees in January for how much we're gonna charge, it would be darn sure nice to know
Mhm.
what they're gonna want for fees. Because I hate to go in there and say, let's raise it to 74, and then they come back with some outrageous number of $85, $90 a ton.
which is,
And then we'll be going in the hole. So
Yeah.
we need our number off of their number.
Could we say, since they haven't had time to put together their proposal, that they just go ahead and we make an extension of what's in place already for 6 more months or a year? And then, so if they don't have time to get a proposal to us pretty quick, just do an extension for a year. That'd kind of lock us in, but maybe that'd get them on the ball to say, okay, we can't do an extension.
well, I planned on emailing, I believe this is our account manager, and that's Jeff Ham. He's still working for Republic, and telling him that we're going to be submitting RFPs and see if we get kind of a response on that. But
So far, he's been non-responsive.
he really has been non-responsive. Martin has emailed him, Sarah's emailed him, I've emailed him, we've talked to him on the phone. We're not getting any traction. So I don't know if they would even be willing to do something like
I
that.
don't think they would necessarily, but I just wonder if it's like, okay, here's another option. Let's move, get something done. An extension's pretty easy to say, yes, we'll do it, other than if it was only 6 months. Midstream, they could still put us in a predicament.
They could in 6 months.
Mhm.
So the contract does officially end in March.
Mhm.
So I don't believe it would be too early to ask for proposals.
Makes me wanna
September.
have the conversation I asked you about.
Mhm.
Why don't we dump it ourselves?
Yeah, yeah.
Why don't we consider solid waste another one back in the county?
Right,
Why are we paying Republic?
right.
Agree.
I mean,
I'm not-
we're getting all the money for our trash
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And as you guys know, Salina Waste, I think there's 4 or 5 companies now. I've seen some new trucks rolling around.
Mhm. Yeah, you'll sign the licenses at the
Paying
end of
for
the
all
year,
that trash.
so.
I don't know. I don't want trash, but $100 a ton, you're gonna get up to $1 million is what we're
Oh,
gonna spend
Business.
Yes.
a year.
Yeah.
Just hauling it out. of
Just
here.
to haul it out of here, yeah.
That's a lot of money.
My thing is this is not only our problem, this is state problem.
It is.
Mm.
Where are they at? And I think they need to be drawn in and give us a hand with this. This is a big deal for all counties.
It is. But I think we're gonna have to talk to our legislators about it, but I
I
I
think
mean, is a Republic County, they just,
further up.
they haul their stuff to the neighborhood.
Mhm.
They couldn't even, to quit dealing with it unless and less hands in it.
I mean, is
It's
that,
been talked about, don't take it at all, make the resident or the Salina Waste and all them haul it to Salina
Salina.
County or Gary County.
right,
And we don't accept it at all.
that is,
And there is a way to get out of the trash business, but if we're gonna stay in it, I don't think that we should be paying $100 a ton.
Yeah, and I'd argue that it's
Someone would get hit hard.
part of our mandated statutory
Solid waste is-
responsibility.
solid waste is, yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, would you,
Let's talk about Kenny's
right, that's where I was going.
suggestion, yeah. I mean, what's that look like and how could we implement that and what's the upside and downside?
Downside, get
Well-
all the equipment bought in the manpower.
Yeah, and we need to know that. I mean, I know we kind of do, but I think
Somewhere-
outline that out.
Somewhere around $1 million without the update of the building.
Right. So we'd need to purchase a loader. We'd need to get some additional equipment on the loader, a rubber tire excavator. We've got to get the trailers and semis, and then probably additional
And
staff.
the wheel packer, you
Mhm.
have to pack your trailer.
And do you have any estimates on what it would cost to actually operate it after you bought your equipment?
So,
It's hard kind of for me to tell exactly. But God, it sure comes out around $50, $60.
between 50 and 60 is what we're anticipating.
To do it.
Yeah.
You pay
I'd
for,
rather have somebody else.
I mean, just off the
sit down and
top.
Look the numbers over.
Yeah.
just off the top there,
Yeah.
we're using very base numbers.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
you're talking about a 4 or 5 year payoff.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
what I was
And then we're in the
wondering.
black.
And then we should be in the black.
And then it's operating
Yeah,
itself
yeah,
and
Right.
With the building remodel, we kind of estimated it about 7 years.
Yes.
But
And Mark.
in all realistic,
Numbers
all
on the,
reality, the building don't have to be changed in the beginning.
right, it could be
You
down
got
the road.
10,000 ton of trash.
Mhm.
It comes down to just whether I'm top loading it or whether I got a trailer and I'm compacting it. Either way, it's just handling 10,000 ton.
Mhm.
So,
If that's the direction that you want us to go, then we'll start looking for trailers and loaders and
that's,
stuff like
that's
that.
gonna
building
build for
that
the
out.
future to where we're gonna solve this problem for a while.
yes.
I mean, 20, 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
There-
speed of
there-
6%, but
I mean, the outside looking in, when I first looked at it, I totally thought, man, we ought to be hauling this stuff. You know, but there is the hurdle of getting through the money cost to get it done, to get into it. But I think once you're into it,
maybe that's something the state would consider
Yeah,
helping us with.
We can look, but I don't know if there's
yeah, we could
talk,
absolutely, if they have a
KDHE.
grant or
Yeah.
something to help us stay in business, you know,
Right.
to start it on. our
Right, right.
If you're going up there with trash, you can come back with fertilizer or gravel. No, seriously, I'm still saying,
Not joking.
don't run those trucks empty both ways. I'm
Absolutely, yes.
not trying to be funny.
No, you're right, yeah.
If we are hauling it somewhere.
If you're hauling where you could do that.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean,
I mean, in all
whenever you
honesty,
can.
Yeah.
It would help.
the way it sets now, I would haul right to Slide and be back in an hour and a half.
So when we're probably figuring a couple loads a day,
Yeah, a couple loads a
maybe,
day.
maybe.
2 loads a day. That's what you want to plan your theory
Yeah.
on anyhow. And a third truck loaded.
I was
for the next
proposing
one,
even
You know,
considering the county buying land and creating a landfill here somewhere. We've had one here before.
We did reach out to KDHE and ask about cleaning out the old pits. I don't know if they
That
ever
was
gave us any.
very, very cost
Yes.
ineffective. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it costs you so much.
So we'd have to acquire new
We'd
land.
have
would
to
have
acquire
to
land.
buy a piece of land.
We
Yeah.
did have that one piece that we just took a look at, never
Right.
offers or anything. but
Right.
There's, might be some opportunity.
Because we want to be
Reasonable.
mindful of where we place it too, to make it easy to access for the citizens and for us, and we're not traveling a great distance, because that just adds to the cost too, so. But, I mean, this is some expenses that we didn't plan for, and
So,
we're adding staff.
So where would what would be the startup costs and, I mean, now if our contract with them ends in March.
Yeah.
What kind of contract do we have to lock into them? I mean, we couldn't have this thing up running in 6 months or a year, could we? Maybe a year.
Trailers, getting them is gonna be the hard part,
Yeah,
because,
a couple months to get trailers
Yeah.
in, you know, because they build them as needed. It isn't like they have a lot of them. They build your trailers. So, but less than a year, you can have everything.
Less than a year is reasonable then.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So realistically, startup without doing anything to the building, we're still probably about 700,000.
Somewhere in there. Right?
Somewhere in there
Yeah.
to get it started. And there is a little bit of money sitting in the environmental services fund, not a lot, but there is some there, so.
my opinion on this is if we contract it, it's gonna become another problem for another commission
It is.
at some point. And then they're gonna and then labor's not going down.
Nope.
And they're gonna wanna make 30-40% on their labor.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be at $1 million fund to haul trash out of our county at some point. Like, I think this year, I think that's where the contracts,
I think so too.
I mean, what did Solid Waste, told us- or who gave us a quote for
Waste management,
Waste management?
they were estimating it at 100.
$100.
And those are the two vendors.
Or if they gave us a contract
In the
next
past,
month.
didn't they run it 3 years?
3 years, and then with the continuation for a year. And that's kind of what I've got in this RFP is what we would consider, but
The Salina waste
Really
dump
only
in our
makes
dumps.
sense.
Yes.
yes,
And
they
then
do.
if we're going to haul it.
Then,
to
then
Salina,
we, the Republic closes it up and hauls it to Lawrence.
Yeah, because
All those
it's less,
would-
it's less costly for the citizens that they're
You can
contracted
say it's a 4-year deal. I mean, I
agreement
think
with Salina Waste to pick up their trash, which
the way I'm
sort of is.
looking at it is if we operated
And then we're
ourselves,
dumping
dumped it
Where we
ourselves,
would have taken it anyway.
In the
we
end,
can
yeah.
actually
On
probably
our
end up
time.
lowering our cost to the people wanting to dump.
I don't know if
We're
there's
doing
something to
it.
do with
And then at the
Contract.
same time, we're not gonna
their
spend
allowing
$100
them
a
to
ton,
dump there.
which is where it's going according to
Contract.
other.
Yeah, waste management, they didn't even.
Well, we don't have
write it down
contract.
because
And we just get their
$100
license.
a ton.
I think 100 was cheap. I think they were really, remember, I thought there was some conversation they were talking about like 120.
We're just,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, because we're just small enough. 10,000 tons sounds like a lot, but it's not.
It's not.
It really isn't,
They're
so,
like,
yeah.
You know, they're doing 60,000 tons in
In a day or in a year. So, yeah. So, I mean, if that's the direction you want us to go, then we'll start looking for a loader,
Yes, I will.
excavator and trailers.
It blows my mind.
Numbers, if that's where we want to go, I mean, you know.
It's obvious up to these two too, but my thought is $1 million leaving the county and we could do it ourselves. We could do it right here. I know it's not what we planned on,
Mm-hmm.
but in 4 or 5 years, you're gonna be money ahead anyway.
Should be.
And you can fund the program by itself.
Ham's made profit at it every year, taking it from us. And if they make a profit, we can do it without cost.
We could lower the cost too, like Solana
And
Waste.
that's where I was
or
going.
Waste
We could
Management.
lower our costs is what would end up happening.
Yep.
Yeah, because if they bring it in and we took them at $100 a ton,
Mhm.
we're all gonna be, instead of $90 every 3 months or whatever you pay.
It's gonna go up.
Trash cans, that's gonna be $130.
That's what's gonna happen. You
What's
have
on
to
Mark's and your plate today?
We can push the cost off, but I don't see the advantage.
I know. So,
We're slap busy for the rest of the warm season.
yeah. Well, then if that's the direction, then I'm gonna ask that we've got 2 open positions in the highway department. I would like to fill them. That's my plan. Because we've had people leave and then we have to look for 2 additional staff members at minimum to
Can
run.
we next you
Next-
put all this together
Yes,
and
Well,
yes,
so we can look at it?
yes.
there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Commissioner?
That's what we need.
Yep.
Yeah.
yep.
Because I don't think we're gonna make this decision in a week or two.
No.
This is a big
It
decision.
is a big
They put
decision.
enough money into it that they're coming back into you everything.
Yeah.
You know, there's enough money in it for both directions and they're not having to backhaul.
Yeah.
There's, I mean, they don't do it to not make money and I understand that. That's, you know,
Well, this trash, is it in the bales or is it just trash going
it's
in?
trash.
Just trash and it's in a trailer.
Just loose
Yeah,
connection.
just loose in the trailer.
Well, I'll add it to the study session agenda next week because we've got some good numbers already.
Pretty much.
I mean, I think it's gonna take us
Yeah.
You and I and
good meetings.
Oh, absolutely, but
Billy and Mark will.
yep, we'll sit down and
Get it all.
get everything, yeah.
Yeah. Pricing stuff's just that way anyhow. You price it June, it's not the same.
It's
as
not the
August.
same, yeah.
You can go either way, but yeah, you need fresh numbers. to
Yeah.
get it right.
We're gonna have to build this program right, you know, I mean, part of the fees need to be in there for, I mean, we need to really think this through so it can fund itself if we do this.
100%.
Right, you want loader replacement money in that.
That's what I mean.
Trailer
Yes.
replacement
Think all that
money in
through,
there.
so we're not having to raise levies to
Yeah.
take care of
Right.
problems later.
Well, and the good thing about this is it's the transfer station, so it's self-sustaining. It is not levied funds.
Okay.
So that helps. So we just have to have our fees right to offset that cost. So, and we've got a good set of numbers put together already. We just need to verify them.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think it started getting edgy back when they first hit the 60 cost, $68, $70. Now, 71, 72.
So that's my fear right there. We're gonna go from 72
Yep,
to
72.
like 110.
Yes.
Yeah, that's,
We're gonna have a 30% cost increase.
that was what Waste Management inferred to us, that we
So
had to
we
get
have to
100.
pay Ham or Republic to haul the trash off and they charge us $72 a ton.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
what I didn't know.
Yeah.
You're talking about.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm gonna ask, and I beg of you,
Yeah.
please do not do that recycle thing you guys did a number of years ago.
The recycled trailers.
No, that was with Harrington, that was all fake. It was word for word verbatim on a proposal to put that recycle center in.
Oh, yeah.
Don't do that.
No, absolutely not.
Is that
It was fake, yeah.
fake?
Yeah.
My vote would be to haul trash and just take care of what we're doing now. and not
That is
pay
the
other
biggest
people.
service to the residents that we can do, is to get rid of their trash.
And we're still fulfilling the statutory
I'm sure at
requirement.
one point this made more sense than operating our own.
It did, yeah.
The labor wasn't.
Labor wasn't high. They came in, they helped build the building. The county didn't have to do much to start that landfill except on the property.
Except around the property, yeah.
And we did because we used to have pits and they were able to put a building on it and Hams designed it. They helped build it. So
Mm-hmm.
the costs were a lot more fair.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah. No, I think
I don't know
so.
if that's right.
No, but yeah. Well, it was
You're right.
guaranteed money for them if we
Yeah.
brought them in and started. Okay, then we'll go down that path and.
I mean, when they started it, those farmers were still dumping in the ditch and weren't using, the landfill wasn't used like it is today, the trash, so
Right.
we'll get to numbers.
Okay.
We'll meet.
Yeah,
Maybe a conversation.
yeah, I will send you the spreadsheets that I've gotten that Marcus had put together. That way, so we have a place to start there and just confirm everything. So we can bring back, so.
At some point, we could have the conversation though with the city of Abilene. They do have the recycling center, which, but I know they have to subsidize.
Just got asked if the county would be interested in taking that damn
Oh,
thing.
did they?
Well,
It
their works what they're doing and
I tell them.
Yeah, I ain't taking over your recycling. So
No,
but in principle,
It's nice for soil.
anything that goes in there that does divert some of the tonnage.
it does.
Yeah,
It
so-
does, yeah,
so
yeah.
It's helpful.
Yeah.
And I know the dilemma that they're in is when they first started that, there were a lot of things they were getting
Yes,
a little bit of a payback or break even.
yes.
And
It's not the case anymore.
now they kind of have to negotiate with them and say, hey,
Mhm.
take our aluminum, but you have to take this also.
to get the bales of aluminum, please take the glass and the plastic.
Yeah, they almost have to tell them to, and,
Yeah.
but anyway, I mean, I know it's a challenge, but it's,
I think of the recycling, I'm kind of wrong. The worst thing about it is how much of it doesn't get done. You know, it's a line of waste down here where we have a cardboard box, we have a trash box. And more times than you realize that guy doesn't send both trucks. He just dumps them both in the trash one. And
Yep.
It's gone. I mean,
Yeah, the airports are kind of a tell.
Yeah.
And then it's one trash can. I'm like, right, yeah, we're recycling, that's for sure.
When I lived in Florida, we had 4 different things on the curb. Everything's just,
yeah.
and then,
And the bottom line is not a moneymaker. It's maybe good stewardship, but
yeah, stewardship of the environment, but it's hard to make money that way. Side note, just for Agri Trails is gonna move their grain storage that's out on 2300 Rain to just east of the bus barn there off Old 40.
Really?
So they own the land. We gave them a quote, just over 33,000 to put in their 2 driveways. That's a big
Wow,
deal.
that's a big, yes.
That's a big deal.
Wow.
I mean, it's a 90-foot pipe, under the one driveway. I think we're gonna make the other one 70, the actual one. Yeah. So we got a proposal, they'll get it today.
Okay,
I pretty much believe they're gonna hire me to do it, to
okay,
fix their drainage or whatever, but
nice.
possible 2,000 ton of fill to fill that 90-foot
Really?
big ditch. So,
Dang.
just something else we don't have time to do, but we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
10 o'clock. I'm up.
Not quite.
Martin Tannehill, Department of Public Works. Coming late in the year, the summer, we have a lot of tubes that need to be done under the pavement. We have plans to get 6 more roads cut and the tubes replaced and back before asphalt season ends. And we hope to build 2 small bridges, one on Barn Road and one on 500 Avenue by the end of this year. So that keeps that crew busy. All right, then our other crews, we're stopping probably today, mowing. We're gonna try to wait for as long as we think possible to then do our final mowing. And that will put 2 guys on tractors for 8 weeks, maybe 9 or 10, just depending on how it goes. And they'll be steady with 2 of my employees to be gone doing that. So, the 1100 Avenue Bridge, tomorrow they're pouring the decks board, they're pouring the approach pads. Best guess, middle of September, 1100 Avenue will be back open. And that will still be within their contract. And then, of course, we have started work on the 1060 and 1900 Avenue Truss Bridge out here. We're replacing. Surveyors are there this week. My 2 appraisers, Bill and Joe, will be there next week to get it appraised. A couple of weeks after that, we'll meet with Mr. and Mrs. Coleman. We've already met with them once to get the land purchased. And then at that point, the earliest the contractor can start is January 4th.
Okay,
And the latest he can start is August 9th. I would venture to say they will start in March, would be my guess. On that bridge, the thing that's a little different is there will be a lot of dirt work before there's bridge work. So they won't want to do it in frozen ground, is my opinion of that. And that's why they'll wait till spring. And they'll get started. By the way, that contract's 240 working days.
240.
Yeah, so it's
That's a big bridge.
it's a big project, yeah. The other thing we're getting done this month is I am gonna spray a little brush. We'll get out and we'll do that here in August and get brush spraying done. And environmental services, all be like it is, it's running normal and day to day, nothing has really changed out there. The other thing I will do that'll be coming in front of you is the bid for the township chemicals. I will put it out this month. Mark and Sarah are out there finalizing the numbers on it today. And we'll get a request for pricing on the township. And then it will be October, the end of October, 1st November, before I can do the farm chemicals. So. Other than that, things are good. Billy's up here if you want to hear a little bit about the new truck or the.
Which I have a picture of it. Hang on, let me get it. Oh, I had a picture of it.
Anything going with the fleet?
The new truck is
Got a
in.
picture?
I do have a picture of it.
Yeah,
Look,
Billy
look,
must have sent it to you.
She is.
looks pretty good.
We were able to purchase that from Chuck Henry. So we were able to get somebody local. It was
At a good price.
the best price also. So,
You did, it was a few
It sounds
thousand
like-
less than
yeah.
what we thought.
yep.
Good deal.
It'll do real good for us.
Some of our trucks are red and some are yellow.
Yeah, not by chance.
Okay.
All my small vehicles are white and all my dump truck fleet is red. But then the semis or whatever, because we buy used, they're
Yeah,
Whatever they come in
Yeah.
at, gotcha.
whatever color we
Yeah.
get. Yeah.
This one actually kind of looks like a municipality truck already being yellow.
It does a little bit. That's what I was thinking.
But by having going down and looking at the one we thought we would have wanted, that's why you test drive them. And both mechanics climbed out and walked in the door to me and the salesman and go, we're not interested. I mean, and so I didn't even have to ask what was wrong, because if there's that much wrong, we're not touching it.
Yeah, it just wouldn't work for us.
Yeah.
Glad you guys vetted it.
Hmm.
Glad you guys
Yeah,
vetted it.
yeah, it's much better than buying something on site.
Yeah.
And we got the cars on Purple Wave. There, that auction's listed. There's 15 of them on there and they end September 15th.
Okay.
Last day for it.
Yeah, so,
And you're gonna start on the winter project on your other truck?
Yeah, we've got a game plan already, so we'll just get caught up, get everything ready to go for winter and then we'll dive into it.
Little, what are you gonna do to engine rebuild and
Yeah,
transmission? or-
we were gonna get a engine stand from a truck shop that we know that's gonna rent one to us, then that way we don't have a whole truck sitting in the bay all winter. We'll have to
I got
get
you.
the engine and
Sure.
Rebuild it and
Roll
put
it
it back
over.
Old
in.
ground cherry picker probably won't work, huh?
Might be a little cool out there. You're-
Yeah. Well, that's all I got.
Okay, well, thank you guys.
Okay.
Who wants to go next?
No one ever wants to volunteer. I don't know why.
You know where we're
I'm not. I'll do B first. Okay. Marcia, good morning, Marcia Schneider, HR Director. I don't have any significant changes since I was just here 2 weeks ago. But we have had two new hires since then, one in dispatch and one in the jail. So that leaves us currently with 5 open positions. And year to date, we have 22 terminations and 16 new hires. And next week, I'm going to be going to the CIC conference, which CIC is our software for accounting and payroll. So I'm going to be attending the payroll and personnel sections of that. So that's all I got for you today. Unless you have any questions. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
How about that?
Morning.
Jerry Davis, I'm the sheriff. Yeah, nothing. Actually, population's up in the jail for the last week for some reason. We got a total of 35 inmates where we had been running about 25, 27. 30 of those are male, 5 are female, 3 of them are for out of county. I think Riley County and Morris County are where we have them from. Seems like the majority of my time are spent responding to court requests. Thank you very much for that.
That's what it is.
I don't know why there's such an uptick, but there just is. And they're kind of a pain in the rear. The good news is we got the Guardian RFID system implemented in our jail, which is like a cell phone type device that the jailers take with them when they do inmate movements, inmate checks. It's really kind of cool because they can go in and do like a jail check and find contraband. They can video the contraband. They can take a picture of the contraband and they can actually pick a button and dictate their report right there as it's happening. What I also like about it is it's real time. Like I can log in at my desk. I just logged in right before I came in here. And it's got supplies, it's got inmate movements. Like we had one inmate that still had a razor checked out. As soon as that's checked back in, it'll clear off my list. It also monitors your jail check to make sure you're doing them all on time. We kind of stagger them more than we used to. So we may have done one every hour, but now we might do it on the hour, and then we might do one 20 minutes later, then one 10 minutes later. And it also keeps a percentage of how well they're keeping up with their jail checks as far as everything else they're doing. And it's all green. We're up to like 99% on our jail checks, which is pretty doggone good. I really like that system, and it's allowing us to make sure we got 2 inmates with special diets. It's documented right there. If they go to give them the wrong meal, it says, hey, you got the wrong tray. It's really impressive. I'm working on the jail medical records. The ball's in their court. I'm waiting on them to work out with our nurse the forms and stuff they may need, and then we'll go all electronic pharmaceutical records. Fingerprint machines, I'm kind of in a holding pattern there on when we'll get them. I've emailed the company several times and haven't gotten a response, but I think it's because of the whole process with the KBI and stuff. I'm not certain. So, like Marcia said, we've got one new employee we've offered a conditional offer for in the jail that will make us full staff in the jail. Just waiting on that individual to complete psychological testing. Once I get the results back, we'll get the start date on that person. Other than that, I got, if you guys have specific questions or anything I can answer.
I don't think so. We talked a little bit. I guess I'm just going to ask again, how is our enterprise rental fleet going? How's that working for the sheriff's office?
We love it. We were able to decrease our inventory, I think, by like 3 vehicles, like 2 or 3 vehicles. It's working out well. We had to have one of them taken to the shop yesterday because overheating issues. But it's one that we had just replaced the engine in. And I think when they put the water hoses back on, they didn't get the clamps in the right spot. I think the hose came off, drained the water.
Hmm.
I think we were able to catch it before we did any damage to the engine. So we've had two of them that had engine issues, but they got them fixed that quick and they're right back on the road. So
Good.
we're loving it. And I'm anxious to see as the years go by, how much money it's going to save in the long run. So I think it's going to be interesting. It'll be a good deal.
Good.
So in 5 years, if I'm wrong, you guys can say I told you so.
I hope we're not.
I don't think.
I don't think we will be either. Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you, guys.
Good morning. Rose Jones, Registered of Deeds. I'm just gonna give you a quick rundown today because I think I see you guys next week. It's on my calendar.
Yes, yep.
It is, okay. So I'm just gonna give you an update on our daily and monthly data access that we supply for the public. In July, we had 32 subscribers. We had $1,000 in subscription fees for this, $5 in printing fees, and 11 users. I'm seeing the printing fees go down, so I'm assuming they're able to get what they need while that screen is up, or they're able to save that on their desktop, would be my guess, is why they're not printing. We've had 193 subscribers to date. We've collected $5,925 in subscription fees, and we get all of that. We don't, it doesn't get, it comes to the county and then goes to the general fund. We've collected $156 in printing fees, and there's been 285 pages printed. Last year at this time, we had 179 subscribers, so we're up by 14. We only had $2,786 in subscription fees, so we're up a little over $3,000 in fees that way. We did, however, have $726 in printing fees last year. And 1,571 pages printed, so we're kind of down this year in that. Our e-recording numbers, in the month of July, we had 71 e-recordings, and we collected a total of $5,515 in fees for that. We are, to date, we are at 653 documents recorded by e-record. That's a 65% increase over last year. We're at $53,738 in recording fees collected by e-record, and that's a 67% increase from last year. And I was going to give you an update on our property activity alert program that we do have. 252 people have signed up since we started in 2024. We've had 34 sign up this year. Last year to date was 100, well, last year as a total was 155 that signed up for the program. And when we started in 2024, we had 49 people apply for the program. So we try to get the word out. People come in, they ask about their property or want a deed. We always offer them to sign up for the program. We have flyers in the hallway. We try to talk about it. So you can tell when those programs run on TV, those ads run for, for $80. You can sign up and we can property fraud alert, because we do get a lot of phone calls starting about that time frame asking about it. So we always make sure to tell them it's a free service we offer. You don't have to pay for a service. You can call us, you can stop in and claim your tags, taxes, check on your property. We'd be more than happy to help you. Because I'm seeing you guys next week, I wanted to ask, is there something specific you guys would like to see me bring to you that you haven't seen? Do you want to see how we, do you want to see pictures of how we index? Is there something that I'm not giving you that you want to see?
And actually, I think that in our managers meeting, that's a topic of discussion that they're asking, is there something specific that you would like for them to be presenting instead of just stats, conversations, or piece of equipment, or do you want to continue this progress or this meeting monthly like this? What's your thoughts on that?
I appreciate the monthly reports, and I think sometimes where they're just whatever you bring is sometimes helpful information, and we always have opportunity to ask a few questions.
Absolutely.
I'm not trying to, put anyone on the spot. I mean, if it's something you have to retrieve information, you can always gather it and bring it at a later time, but I like the interaction and gives a good feel for all the things going on in the county and in the various departments.
And I think for me, go ahead, Jerry.
Right.
You guys are doing a wonderful job. We're getting a lot of heat from the public about money being spent.
Understandable.
I'd like to see you folks come in. If you see something that you can do more efficiently and effectively, you're the directors of those organizations. You let us know. If
Absolutely.
you see something that you think we can do this to save the county money, because you're right there with it. You guys are right in. But
I feel it too, because I'm a taxpayer and it's
Absolutely.
hard.
right, but I would appreciate that communication if you
Absolutely.
come up on things like that.
Absolutely. I will do what I need to do to, get my budget down there to where it's just tight running numbers that we need to run the office, and, I'm happy to help citizens any way I can.
It has been a little while since we've done this, but a few times in recent years, we've made a visit to some of the departments when we would wrap up our work study session. And I think sometimes that's good to have that on the checklist, maybe to do that again.
Okay.
Just kind of hands-on, and plus we get to see the people in your department that you have working with you, and
That would be wonderful. We
Maybe
would
we should do
really
that.
would enjoy that, but
Couple years
I
or
just
so.
didn't know if you guys wanted to have something other than what I'm bringing you, because I just saw you this week, so I'll probably bring you more numbers next week, but if there's something else I can include that you're interested in seeing how we do.
What I would encourage you to do is to bring anything you think is going to help the public better understand what it is you're accomplishing
Okay.
and what it is your role here is getting done for them. That was really the intention of this monthly manager director meeting, is to really be a little more clairvoyant and allow the public an opportunity to kind of look inside under the hood and see what's going on.
Absolutely, I can do that for you.
So if you want to show us how you record something, I think that's a great exercise.
I can put a PowerPoint together and so you guys can see it on the screen. of how we do
Don't make it like 72 slides,
that. Yeah.
like the company. But if we could dial it to like 10, that'd be great.
that's what Mark was going to do, the 72.
Martin, you do this 70 slides, all right.
That's Philly now, so.
I could do that.
We don't need to spend a week putting a slideshow.
I could do that. I would be more than happy to put that together for you.
I think that'd be really useful, and I think people would appreciate it.
Well, anytime we can educate the public as to what our roles and responsibilities are, I think that's.
Absolutely.
And we do that a lot when we have people come in and they ask about their deeds. It always ends into a conversation of, you guys got great computer screens, and then we explain to them why we have them and then show them what we do. And people seem to interact really well with that. Like, then they understand how much work actually goes in behind the scenes. And it's not just here, I'm gonna scan this paper and then you're done.
Sure.
We try to take a lot of pride in what we do, and we want it to be exact, so if we ever do a conversion down the road in the future, everything's gonna flow really well.
I agree, and I think I encourage all you guys to do this, but show them why.
That's what we try to do.
Don't just tell them what the result was. The what is great. We need to know the what, especially us, but what's the why?
And we like to show them how they used to do it with the old handwritten ledger books and then how we do it today. And I think that really puts in perspective how much work we actually do in that office and how important it is. So,
I think it'd be useful.
okay, I can do that. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
I think if it takes 72 slides, it takes 70.
Oh gosh, Jerry.
Either you want to know or you don't. I was gonna say, we do these meetings where the department heads all meet, and then like next week might be my time to present. Do we actually need to have those specific ones for each department
Individual
head?
departments coming in.
Since we're getting the department head
Mhm.
updates anyway with everybody here, like I think Marcia was just here last week. You're here next week, you're gonna hear this.
How much we got? We got 12, right?
Oh, I think that's right. Thereabouts. So, and
Up to the
We could
commission.
reevaluate that.
Yeah,
Maybe we need to have a discussion on that.
maybe, maybe once a month each department.
But sometimes there are specific things that are,
right.
we really need to get further into and hear more
Oh, yeah.
information. And for example, on the discussion we had with Martin earlier today,
Right.
Yeah,
that was a lot more than what we could do in this session here.
Well, and not necessary.
Come in and present anytime you want on any topic, so.
yeah.
We just set up a schedule that we had a rotating basis to make sure all the managers come in. And, for instance, Tim would have to come over here, or Brock's not here. Or I've got some managers that are out and Leah's out, but that's just what we've been doing. But if we can accomplish it another way, that if there's something specific that we need to have talked about for a department, we can certainly put them on the study session and do that and still have our monthly manager meetings to present to you, present information.
Yeah, and I mean, let's be open. I mean, during budgeting, that's gonna get hard to do. But out of budget, I feel like we do need to fill our time up. I mean, I shouldn't say that. There's maybe 3 meetings where we don't have enough to fill it up, but I'm gonna go back to what I said to Rose. I think the why is really important. And I think it would explain a lot of things. I think they all know what is happening for the most part, but why? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? And I think explaining that could help them understand.
So maybe what we could do is still the second Thursday of the month, we always have the department managers and elected officials coming in and make their presentation here. And then once a month, we'll have a department manager, or elected official come in and have a more in-depth presentation as to why, what's going on in the department and why, or something along those
To
lines.
me, there's 12 departments, so that gives each manager a month to have whatever we want to call these sessions. The why session, I don't know.
Department updates.
Department updates. But you're right, beyond just stats. Because this can get, I mean, let's be honest, I listen to them, but the public, after a while, it's probably gonna tune those out. So,
I can do that. Put one together.
I shouldn't say just me, I know they're listening to
But when we have someone come in, when we're asking questions, I think from an economic standpoint, like how many permits have been drawn and such like, that's a stat that I'm particularly interested in.
Likewise.
And so, and it's not that the others aren't interesting, but I mean, it's,
Mhm.
and maybe the public, has that, might have a different perception to that.
We'll do it the last meeting of the month.
And then you're given the final result. We had this many deeds. Okay, how do you do that? And why are you doing it that way? I think that would be important. And then explain, okay, so there's 50 deeds. This is what it took to actually go get that done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Good morning.
Good morning, Lisa Burke, Dickinson County appraiser. We've had a busy summer. We had our personal property appraiser resign in July, leaving the appraisal department down 1 staff member. We are currently working to manage that workload in addition to our existing responsibilities. I have 2 staff members participating in a virtual personal property workshop. Upon review of what they're learning in that virtual workshop, I am planning to cancel some scheduled future workshops. I don't feel that they're being trained to the level that I would like to see it. And so I think that we can train and educate a little better in our department and save some money that way. I reviewed some of the stuff that they're looking through, and PVD is giving information that does not even match what is in the current guide. And so to me, that's very confusing. So
That's disappointing.
It's very disappointing. I think going forward on personal property, I think I might just try to handle it on my own and see where we get on that. No promises, no guarantee. We have completed about 60% of our maintenance, which is again by statute. We are working, wrapping up on Abilene City that we had there, and then we'll focus on the rural areas. And again, we'll be down in the southwest corner of the county. We are a little behind this year. The weather conditions slowed the process beginning first part of the year, or first part of the season, beginning with the rains, and now the heat indexes are are slowing it down just a little bit. The rural area, you can go out pretty much all day. That's not a problem. With the city, when you're going around and around it, it gets a little too hot to be out that long. But again, we'll get through it. By the end of July, our office had received an invalidated total of 346 sales RSVQs. Over the next couple of weeks, we plan to review the Division of Water Resources irrigation report. We do this every year. Mainly, we check for any new permits. Currently, we have 95 permits that overlap 104 different parcels. This review requires sorting the information and calculating the acre feet per acre. And so it does take a little time in doing that. We are also continuing to track CRP information. So although the consistent documentation remains challenging, because when we receive questionnaires, not everybody is sending it. And when they are not really completing the data. That's something that I don't know how to get out to the public better, that information, CRP information, and your ag data information is so very important because it does affect your value in the long run. And it is the responsibility of the taxpayer to return the questionnaires. Our duty is to review it, but it's a little hard sometimes to know if there's an active contract. I can go out and say, yes, this looks like a CRP field any day of the week, but I don't know if there's an active contract on it. And so the difference between having CRP and grassland is, you can go out. What I look for is if it's fenced, obviously we're going to say that's probably pasture, may not be, may still have some. We can have CRP in the middle of a not irrigated, but a cropland field. But CRP is valued as a cropland, and so as a dry land. So it is valued higher than a grassland. So again, it's very important that we get that information back. And like I say, I don't know how to get it out there any better than that.
Maybe we just do a video clip and put it on the Facebook.
Put it on. Yeah.
Try that.
That might be a good idea. Let's see. We are also focused on exempt properties this year. We are verifying that all of our documenting exemptions are done accurately. The review stems from another legislative post-audit committee review. Dickinson County has historically entered the exemption documentation. However, now they are wanting additional specific information entered. So again, that takes more time and process to do, but we're getting it. It's all these little fun things the state throws down and you're like going, okay, just one more thing. So I am pleased to report that we have received our final compliance report from PBD, and Dickinson County is fully compliant with the final score of 100% again. Official notification should be coming to you shortly, probably within the next month. I do have a copy if you'd like it. I do want to give lots of credit to the employees in our office. They are educated, well-trained, and have a strong understanding of the state's requirements. They work hard to fulfill the many duties and responsibilities of our office and continue to do the best work they can for the county. So,
how does that compliance report we have compared to other counties? Are there very many that are not compliant, or what's the range on that?
I honestly don't know. And I hate to say it that way because there's two portions of it. There's statistical and then there's procedural. So statistical is based upon sales and what your ratio studies do. So we get graded on that. A couple of years ago, there were a lot of counties out of compliance. And so I don't know where we stand now. I haven't reviewed that. I actually haven't heard even from the director, our new director, about it. I know he will say most counties are undervalued, which is true, but I don't know how many are actually out of compliance with that.
And the director is?
Now Bob Kent.
And he's under which department?
He's Property Valuation Division.
Okay.
Yes. And
It's under the Department of Revenue.
Is that
Department of
appointed by the
Revenue,
governor, or is that or is that
Say that
a
again?
Secretary of State, right?
Secretary.
Secretary of State is the one that does the under that division? Okay.
Yes.
For sure.
So yeah, but I don't know that. And then the procedural is basically verifying that we are doing every single phase accurately and that we are supplying every document that is required. So when I send in, excuse me, when I send in like our land and neighborhood analysis, we may have 15 to 20 models of acre models and then square foot models. So I have to make sure everything is statistically tested and proven and documented, and then make sure that everything is accurately entered and write up a long summary about what I've just done. And then they go through each model, verify it with our Orion system that everything's been uploaded, and then they sign off on it. So there's a lot that goes into just these different studies.
Sometimes it doesn't really happen, probably rarely, but I think now someone would ask me, how would I answer that? So
Oh, Lisa.
I enjoy your synopsis, and that's really the go-to is, I'll say call and whoever the department is on that.
Yeah, because I mean, it's setting value on the price per square foot, but then you also have to take into consideration, you have your basic, your base square footage of something. Well, you're going to have an incremental and a decremental value as well. So you have to determine how much are you going to add to it if it's a larger lot, or how much are you going to deduct if it's a smaller lot. So it is very detailed. And so somebody is welcome to come down and I can show them how the model would work if anybody's ever interested.
Sure.
You have to.
That would be a good example to walk them through when you present your department update.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So, do you guys have any other questions?
Lisa, I have a question. Excuse the dumbness of this question.
No?
Dickinson County consists of cities, towns, and rural area. And when you look at the valuation sheet, and total those totals up, does the rural America, rural Kansas, rural Dickinson County have more valuation or less valuation than total cities combined?
Oh, goodness. I would honestly have to look at our report, but I can certainly let you know that. I'm going to guess that the cities are going to carry more value because ag land is down, but I'm not 100% sure of that.
Okay.
If you're looking at all cities combined.
Okay.
That'd be my guess. Any questions?
Thank you.
Yes.
Morning.
Dustin Parks, Director of IT for the EAS. So we've been rolling out new network equipment to help us kind of bring more stuff in-house. One of the big things we're doing is at each satellite location, we've deployed a dedicated firewall at those locations so that we are able to negotiate better with our internet service providers. Because right now, Vive provides us our network access to those locations. So without Vive, we couldn't actually access the satellite locations, which means we're beholden to whatever Vive needs or demands of us. With the firewalls in these locations, that allows us to negotiate those prices because we can move to different service providers if we need to. And so right now, the cost estimates are that we might be able to get faster internet through competitor Vives for several $100s less a month total between the locations. But we can't really do that until
Starlink an option?
Starlink is an option for some locations, so we have to be careful. For example, anywhere that services criminal data,
Right.
So
Can't run that.
can't use Starlink because we have to guarantee that the data stays in the US. That's a little hard to do when you're dealing with the satellite and so it could potentially runs. But for like the health department down in Harrington, that's actually something we've looked at. And I've reached out to our local distributor is AT&T, the government version of Starlink.
Mhm.
And I reached out to them to see just kind of what it costs. Haven't heard back from them yet. But
We do a mobile one when we go home. And middle of nowhere, Oregon, no reception.
it'll work.
Everyone's on the internet. So,
And
it's pretty
the state
amazing.
actually has several units, the state KISO, the Information Security Office, they actually have several units that they can deploy in the event of an emergency at a location. And we've talked to them because there's going to be a point in time when we have to bring the internet down in Harrington for a while while we do transition of service. And we talked to them about maybe testing one out there just to see kind of what that would look like. So that is an option for us. And they offer a government level access where we get priority access.
I didn't know that.
AT&T
Okay.
website. Yeah.
Interesting.
So whether it'll be competitive in price is a question, but it adds to the availability of if we don't have to stick with one. The other thing, we've been doing quite a bit in terms of trying to get that all situated out. We're cleaning up the server room, re-networking, recabling stuff. We've deployed, in part, the new core switch that we got through the grant with Jennifer's office to have a better and newer core switch. So we're hoping by the end of this month that that'll be fully deployed. And that grant saved us. One new core switch was when we first did the grant was about 16,000 per core switch. And now they're closer to 28. And so that grant allowed us to get a really good high-end core switch that has a very good longevity to it. So hopefully we won't have to replace it for upwards of 7 years.
But it costs more than that in total.
Yeah, in total it costs more.
That was just the actual.
Yeah.
Saved almost $40,000.
Yeah. When it was all said, the grant helped us save about 40 grand. So, and speaking of savings, one of the big things that we're seeing right now is a very large increase in email attacks, phish attempts, credential harvesting. It's massive right now. And it is pervasive. Right now, the stat that is floating around is that there are more Kansas counties that have been affected by this than not. And it's gone as far as to get some of the some state agencies as well. And so we have been kind of contemplating increasing our security through Microsoft, because that's kind of where we can put a very good first block to things. And we discovered through some research that instead of having to increase every license, which is 145 licenses, we could buy one top-end license for one account, which is what we call our global administrator account. And it would apply tenant-wide. So instead of having to buy 145 licenses, we bought one, and we were able to figure out how to apply it tenant-wide. So all of our users have access to that level of security and all that stuff, and we can control that from the back end. That saves us about $82,700 a year.
Good job.
And provides the same security as if every single user had that high-end license. So hopefully that'll maintain throughout, but it's not something that Microsoft says we can't do. It's not like skirting a line. It's just that the stuff we needed, we could apply tenant-wide with one license. So we're making use of that. And then the big thing for us is right now we're working on cleaning up a lot of our backups and duplicates. The rough math is that every terabyte of data that we have is about $1,200 to keep. Because we have to account for backups, we have to account for processing on the servers, and we have to account for moving those backups. And right now we've saved about 30 terabytes worth of space. So we don't have to worry about expanding internal storage as much. So because all of our hard drives are aging and we're working on replacing them, but they're very expensive. To give you an idea, the new servers that we got, the new Lenovo's, one set of hard drives for those is roughly $10,000. And that's for 2 terabytes.
From memory.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Pretty wild.
And we have to buy them in sets of 6 because that's how the servers work. So we have to buy 6 sets. So that's 60 grand to expand by about 20 terabytes.
I just bought a little terabyte of SanDisk for like $70.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's
Can I
great.
just plug that in?
And it's the big one is for servers. The reason the cost difference is so much is because enterprise grade servers, they have what they call error correction. So if they lose power, if the data on them is changed somehow while in transit, the hard drives themselves correct that. That's very important for the law side because it makes that the files that they're using are still consistent, so they're still usable and clean. So the files haven't been changed from the point of origin to storage and backups. But beyond that, it's just everything that is expressed in the astronaut. But we're making use of AI to help clean up files and stuff.
So thanks AI.
Yeah, at the same time, yeah. Well, in one hand, we're using AI to help save time by, having clean up files and organize stuff so that a user doesn't have to sit down and do their own. It's also the reason that stuff is costing so much. So, other than that, that's what we've got. Any questions for me? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Rothschild, Assistant County Administrator, and Finance Director. You have your updated sales tax reports. Sales tax is trending right now. We're up 3% to last year, which is around $30,000 compared to the same time last year, just through the first 7 months of the year. So the sales tax collections has stayed strong. We've continuously seen that over the last couple of years. So that's a good sign for the economy and the revenue here at the county. I just kind of want to touch on a couple of things because you'll see me next week for the budget hearing. So I'm going to keep this pretty short, but we are coming in at 48.4 mills for the budget hearing. When we looked at that, last year we were able to compare that to all of the other counties, and that puts us around the top 30 in the state for the lowest mill levy. So out of 105 counties, we're going to be right there around 30 to 31, probably in that general area. Of course, I don't have all the updated numbers, so I don't know where the counties are going to be this year with their budget, but I'd say we're really in a pretty strong position for lowest mill levy. Also, another report that I'll present next week was for the property tax per person. When you look at your
What would be
population,
interesting about pulling that? Pull that by population.
yeah, and that's actually kind of and
Look at where we're at then.
population.
Go look at other counties our size.
Because if you really look at that list, the ones that are ahead of us in that top 30 you're going to see Douglas County, Johnson County, Sedgwick County. They have a lot of other revenue sources. And so for a county our size, I would say we're really doing a good job of holding the line with property tax. So it's all relative when you start to look at how the other county or all the other counties operate, but we're really doing a good job here in Dickinson County. The other report that I thought was interesting is that property tax per person. And that's based on your population. We also came in around 30 in that. It's almost the exact same position on that graph out of 105 counties. And that right now, that puts us about $758 per person is what we collect in property tax based on our population. And we were ahead of most of the counties in that as well. So I think we're in a strong position moving in the future. I wouldn't touch, we've already heard a couple of people on the enterprise rent-a-car, but the fleet estimate. And I think it's going over really well so far. We brought in over $100,000 in that first sale. We look at the equity we received. We have owned equity, and that's the vehicles that we currently own that we are right now in the process of rotating out of. And then in the future, we're going to see leased equity. And that's the equity we're going to receive back when those leased vehicles that we're currently taking on is sold. So in year one, we're going to come really close to probably just breaking even, where although we were able to replace and get a lot of new vehicles in here for our departments this year, based on the owned equity that we're going to be selling off, we're going to come close to breaking even this year. And then we're still already starting to see a cut in maintenance costs. Jerry touched on how they were able to lower their vehicles by, I believe it's 3 vehicles already in their fleet. And even touching base with Jerry, I think it's going to end up close to 3 to 4 vehicles there. It's given us the confidence to be able to just manage our fleet a little differently, knowing that we don't have to save up for a vehicle necessarily for 10 years in order to have a chance to get another one. And so if you had a vehicle, sometimes you hang on to that longer than maybe you had to, just because the fear of being able to replace that we knew would be very costly. So it's created a lot of benefits for the county. I think we're going to see some real financial success, especially come year 3 and 4, when we start to see that leased equity come back in. Year 2, we won't have as much equity because most of our own vehicles will be gone. We'll only have a couple more that we're selling out. So year 2, you'll see that we're paying for the leases, but we don't have a lot coming back on that in year 2. The years 3 and 4, then you'll start to see that lease equity coming back in, and we're going to be in a strong position. And I think we'll see a continuous downslide in how much we're paying for maintenance, which we're already starting to see, even in the first few months. So, do you have any more questions for me?
Really? I guess I do, because one of the sales tax is for the radios, public safety, right?
Yes.
So since we're seeing a bigger revenue, does that mean we pay that off quicker, or do we carry that over? How do we deal with that excess?
That portion, we, right now, so we pay about $900,000 a year on that lease purchase. And we just made a payment for that here in August. So every August we have to make our payment. Right now, we are still waiting for some funding, some federal funding that could really put us ahead. This hasn't been enough, that $30,000, to make sure that that we really have enough excess to make an extra payment. But that is something that we could do, is pay that off early. So if we were able to collect that and say you have enough to pay off the final year.
That's my question. If we didn't, what do we do with the excess revenue? Do we just carry it over in the same fund?
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah. And when that went to the vote for the people, it also included emergency, it was not emergency vehicles, but
The all hazard replacement. So,
Okay.
but the sales tax question was voted on specific for that.
Right.
It cannot go back to be
That's
used
my
for anything
question.
else.
Okay, so
Can
it
be
goes
used for
back into
anything
its current fund. Okay.
And that public safety fund, it's what, $15,000 is what we're up right now.
yeah. And then-
So I mean, it's not a 1 or 2 slow months or plateau type months could
yeah. And even now,
totally
With-
predictable.
where we're at, when we make that payment, it'll be probably October before we're actually breaking back even in that exact fund, because we made that payment in August. And so that'll actually put us into the red in that fund for a couple months until we collect about 2 more months of payments. So really, until we see that federal funding coming in, we're not really, I would say, ahead, pretty much about right where we expected to be. But I think if we do receive that they've talked about, then we may be in a position that you could actually make a payment early and save some interest costs.
That would be our plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you can lower
Mhm.
That's where I was
that
at.
just a little bit, every little bit helps.
Every little, and that would be our plan moving forward.
I don't know what interest costs is. Sure, it's higher than CDs, then yeah, makes too much sense. Okay. I know we can't invest our money. That would be the right decision, but. Thank you. Chains?
Nancy Smith, Dickinson County Emergency Management. As you know, the fair went on, was hot, took the command trailer out there, used it for a command post, set up an emergency action plan for the fair guys. Everything went off without a hitch this year, except the heat. A lot of heat to deal with. We had to make sure that coolers of water and air conditioner running in the trailer for the guys. Helped Jennifer get her trailer ready to take around. I think that worked pretty good. They get all the stuff delivered around. Built some shelves in it for her. Just took the trailer down to Cape Home to finish getting the radios put in it for the radio project. Save the best for last, I guess, but we took it down there. They're gonna get it outfitted so it's ready to go, because we had a bunch of VHF radios and UHF radios in it, and we just don't use those around the state now hardly anymore. We left one of each in there just in case we needed to use them for something. We need the VHF for paging out of it, because we could set that trailer up and take our dispatch center, move it in there and page out of that thing, and page all the fire departments, ambulances, and stuff right out of that trailer also. Kind of a redundant backup for our 911 center. But we're getting that back in shape. KCOM's got to reprogram the consoles and everything and get all the radios going into that. Should have that back next week. Finished updating our emergency operation plan. It's getting ready to go in for the review. The disaster declaration still pending. We don't have final word from the federal government on whether we're going to get a presidential out of it. I can't believe that we won't, as high as everybody was on it. We're in the millions in our county, and they're in the millions in Saline County, and we're going to be well within the state's threshold. We're just waiting on a presidential declaration on that. Did our first of the year active shooter training at St. Andrews yesterday morning. We had police, fire, EMS, and 911 all at the training. 3 hours of training for all the teachers down there at St. Andrews. Training went really well. The training just kind of opens their eyes how to, quickly harden their classrooms in case something happens. And then it helps them to change maybe their protocols and their jobs, how they're supposed to react to that. First time we did this, it was even the teachers, not at St. Andrews, but another school in our county. The teachers didn't have permission to call 911 without first calling the office. That was just the protocol. Ooh. And so with law enforcement there, with the other people, they're saying, hey, let's look at it like this. And then the administration of the school is like, yeah, I can see how that could be a problem. We need to maybe rewrite that. No, you definitely need to rewrite that. And they walk them through the process of how to make that work seamless. And it's nice to have our 911 there because they can explain to them, because, sometimes if you're hiding in a room and someone's trying to get you, you don't want to talk on the phone. Well, we have text to 911. You can text us. And we'd prefer a call, but you could text us and we know something going on too. So a lot of new stuff that they were able to pick up. And then we're getting the state of Kansas qualified for a grant. North Central is doing it first, is we're mapping all the schools to be able to send maps directly to the displays on law enforcement's car of the school and put a dot on it exactly where they think the shooter's at, how the officer should come into the school and where it's going to go and how to get through the school. And all that's being mapped out, and that's coming through GIS and stuff. So Ricky's going to probably help put that in the 911 center and get that on.
I really hope none of this training is needed.
And that was the big thing while we're there. There's no worse training to have to do than this in school. Yeah. Where we've come to in life that we have to, the evil in the world that we have to do this training, first off, is the bad thing. But this is where we're at and what we're going to have to do. Thinking a teacher is going to have to throw kids out of a classroom window and tell them to just run into the houses. Who would ever thought that? But they're like, well, we're responsible for the kids. And responsible for them in here with someone with a gun isn't responsible because, one, you don't have a gun. You can't defend them. You need to get them away from them. So let them run. I'm not worried at all if you send a classroom full of first graders running into the city of Abilene. We'll go find them. They're going to be just fine. They might run into the grocery store. They might run into someone's house, knock on the door, go inside. They're going to be fine. We'll recover them and get 100% accountability. And then that gets to the reunification. How is your reunification plan look? What is your plan for getting it back together? Do you have a plan? And then that just gets the schools working on doing that, which helps law enforcement and everybody else get the kids back to where they belong. Question?
Thank you.
Two of our directors are out. Amber, unfortunately, is dispatching instead of directing, and John is at a training. He'll be presenting. And then I do have a short report from Leah. She just wanted to remind you that the delinquent real estate listing has to print 3 times, 3 consecutive weeks in the paper in August, and that is per statute. The tax foreclosure attorney is working on the sale, but we do not have a date set at this time. And she has had a couple of properties redeemed in the last month. I don't have a number of properties that are on that list. The commercial state program will be updated in September, and staff has been in trainings for those in Concordia and Topeka, and they're continuing to stay busy with their titling vehicles and renewing licenses and whatnot. So I don't know if Jennifer's got anything.
Yeah.
Lord.
for Dickinson County Clerk and Elections Officer. So just a couple of updates, kind of like what Jerry touched base on. Last year at this time, we had 34 core requests. Right now, we have 51. Fish and Game last year at this time, 99 orders, currently 95. And then I was going to compare some of the results from this primary compared to a comparable primary, which would have been 2024. So in 2024, we had 3,549 votes cast, which was about 26%. We had 506 early voters. That was in 24. So now in this year, we had 32.41% because we had a total of 4,499 votes cast, and we had 921 early voters. So that gives you kind of a comparison of the last comparable election this time. Also at this time, we had in 2025, we had 130 new voter registrations processed, 500 processed for address changes, and 114 by name changes. Now, this year at this time, we had 169 new processed, 557 address changes, and 141 name changes. Currently, we are wrapping up the primary election with the canvass being held here tomorrow at 9 a.m. in this room. Voter registration books will open back up September 1st if anybody needs to make changes. Next week, we'll be presenting the 2026 primary abstract of votes to you guys. And then currently, we're also starting the November election process and preparation, setting up ballot layouts and ordering supplies. And soon we will be sending out certificates of nomination to the candidates that will move on to the November election. Any questions for me?
I believe I do. So we have, for the canvas, we're gonna have 72 provisionals we gotta go through.
74.
74. Okay. And just so I understand, those have not been counted until we go through those, then you count them, then we put out the official results.
They haven't been opened, nothing.
They're all on the county board of canvassers to go through and decide based on statute to be accepted or rejected. Based on the statute.
After the next day totals, did you receive very many mail-in ballots that were postmarked properly to be counted?
4 altogether.
4 additional
Yeah, within the
by mail?
Yeah, that were postmarked correctly and accepted.
Okay.
Yep.
For the public, provisional ballots, what constitute a provisional ballot that we need to review as a campus board?
So some things that you will experience tomorrow could be their name could change. That they're not on our voter registration rolls correctly. They're not registered as a registered voter in our county or Kansas could be a problem. Their address could have changed. Could be just as slightly as they never had their apartment number on there. Now they do. Also, you're going to have some address changes where someone currently lived in Abilene and now they live in Harrington, for example. I'm not saying that's a specific one, but that could be something that you would experience.
So in theory, there will be some of the provisional ballots will be acceptable to count into the totals.
You're going to have
And there'll be
some.
some that are set aside because they don't qualify.
Yeah. And I think you'll also have some that will be partially counted. And what I mean by that is if someone lived in Abilene, right, and they moved to Harrington, they would have normally already voted on state, federal, and the question on their ballot in Abilene. But they wouldn't vote on the stuff in Harrington, so you won't count that. Does that make sense?
And those are people that have moved in just recent months, not 2 years ago or.
They could have been 2 years ago. If it was within 30 days, they would have voted more. They could range. I don't go write that down for you because if they would have voted normally at their home location if it was within the 30-day window. I don't have that information on your provisional ballots. The date that they moved, they'd have to give that to us, and that would be at the polls, not with me. We just have what we have currently on the registration.
Any other questions, commissioners? Thank you.
All right.
That's it.
Couple-minute break.
Yeah, we'll take a couple minute break. We'll resume at 11 a.m. Thank you, guys. Oh, creek.
ready by
I mean,
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
yeah,
Are you, Arden?
All right.
Stayed out of the heat.
Yeah.
so this is what I mean, I think we can do that, Martin, because we have this. We already have this.
Yeah,
That-
I just want to go it over the numbers again.
Yeah, so let's just double check everything.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
If you can have that, I'll just print that copy, but
Have it, but I'm just getting really on board here. A couple of things. Back up.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna be the- It's, So in theory, as close as it is. I guess I'll get it.
I think it's 100, so we need to be aware of that.
So.
Put that for sure. Yes.
Solid numbers on the solid proposal. Cost of. Something we're working on.
Yeah, I figured that.
We're not budgeted, we should have done. That's all, that's gonna pass.
It's an enterprise fund, so you should be able to, in theory, make it, but we'll see. Yeah. So, sit down and.
Yeah.
I think you could make your money back for 2 weeks.
Right, that's.
I know, reasonable and you should.
Tell me what it's costing you to haul $30 an hour driver
Yep.
a truck.
Yeah.
With $5 an hour for you. Help me get them numbers, and I can help decide.
They have an American style.
Tell them we need to charge.
Yeah.
That I can talk to during the day.
Just paying 55. and
The low
or whatever.
You know, unless they want to wake up or I wake up.
Yeah.
If not higher,
We could go down.
if not higher, I would go down and.
So he- he's-
I usually got sick of 5 in the morning.
I'm running the fish.
About the end of their day.
Because I told him my best one, see it, they're about 50 to 60 dollars a ton. is what it costs us to run. And they're charging $70 a ton, and $10 a ton.
Yeah.
And we want to put enough in that cost, which I think I estimate better to pay for a new trailer.
Yeah. To recoup, stay ahead,
And
yeah.
stay ahead, not run at the brink, and then when a truck blows up,
Borrow money.
we had to, we need
Yeah,
money.
yeah.
Okay,
So we
just
have
one
some
more
work cut
thing,
out for us.
to do.
But I think we have a leg up on that because we've already started this discussion, but. Yeah,
Warden, I know I thank you every week, but I appreciate you doing this for us. I really do.
definitely.
Oh, I read, I did those was going to talk about bringing the God's name.
Once you got, I want,
People about it.
yeah, I think you're doing fine.
Mhm.
I don't know how my other commissioners feel, but I appreciate it a lot.
Taking your time to come in and do that, that's very helpful.
So do you all have churches? Where do you go?
I go to the Methodist Church, Woodbine, Kansas. Yeah.
You're still down going.
Catholic Church, yep. Yep.
I'm a Lutheran.
Luther,
Mm-hmm.
I grew up there.
Yep. Well, you're a Presbyterian, actually, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad was Lutheran.
Yep.
Up, we went,
Lutheran church is shooting.
Trinity is where we went.
Downtown.
Mhm.
Okay.
I found this interesting. I went to South Dakota. That's where our family's from. That's where the Rawlsons are from.
Mhm.
Very little Catholic churches up there. Man, it is Lutheran.
Mhm.
And I didn't understand this, but they explained it. It's German,
Yes.
something, they call it. It's an R word.
Shoot, I should know.
It's not fundamentalist, but there is German fundamentalists up there too, which is about as close as you get to like Mennonite or Amish without. They dress that way still.
Really?
Yep. They don't use technology, but they use cars and tractors. So they use machinery, but not technology to an extent. They're about, I mean, a shade away from being, actually up there, they're Hutterites.
Okay.
This is a Hutterite colony. Which don't ask me the difference. I don't know. They all operate the same to me anyway. All pretty close to the same. But they make pickles up there. I don't know if you, pickles. They get it out of an artisan well that was dug 200 years ago. And they were pretty dang good. I mean, they're like this well water is this trick to it all. And they're pretty good. But a little history for you.
Nice.
You ready? 15 seconds. I bet it's a 3. So it's getting worse. Call this meeting to order. If it all rise for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll remain standing for the prayer. Mr. Arden Peterson.
Dear Heavenly Father, again, we come to you with thanks for our country and for our state and our city and county and for the freedoms that we have and for the safety that we have. Heavenly Father, I also thank you for the free elections that we have, and I pray that you deal with all those people that are still running, that will be pitted against one another for the general election. I pray, Lord, that we as voters can discern the truth and get past some of the talk that may or may not be quite filled with all the right facts, Lord. And I pray for those people that have already been elected and been in service for a long time. I just pray that they can rely on you for guidance and wisdom as decisions are being made. And Heavenly Father, I especially thank you for our local people. I pray that you bless the employees of our local area and county and city and state employees. Just be with them and guide them, keep them safe. Heavenly Father, we thank you also for school being started and pray that the students will be safe as some of them walk to school, etc. And pray for those that will be probably playing football and other athletics. Just pray, Lord, that they can cope with the heat and that they will be safe. Heavenly Father, I thank you for this time. I pray for wisdom for the commissioners today and decisions that they'll be making. May the Holy Spirit guide them. And Lord, I just pray for those people in our community that do not know you, Lord. I pray that your Spirit will touch them, that they can have an interest in knowing more about you. Heavenly Father, I pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Peterson. Moving down to the approval of the agenda. We got a pretty short one today. Only 2 items we have today. I'm sorry, we have 3 items. I apologize. One of them is to select the elector for the canvas board, fill position for Commissioner Roller. We'll have another one to select the same thing for Commissioner Peterson, who is unavailable to make the canvas. And then the last item will be the appointment of Curtis Thomas to fill an open Center Township clerk position. Do we have any additions to the agenda, or do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. The consent agenda today, the minutes for the August 6th meeting are provided in your packets. Payroll, $424,657.17. Hand checks of $492. And abated tax for $652.72. Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
So moved. I'll second that motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, guys. Commissioner comments, committee reports. I I don't know if Lynn started in a while. Lynn, you want to start?
Sure. Earlier this week, we met there at the health department. Senator Roger Marshall was there. And I think he had a special interest for a couple of things, just for rural health, but also the fact that he's a doctor. But we have a great program there. I think Janelle probably will touch on it more later, but a paramedicine program. And it's kind of a community partnership. The hospital administrator was there and other health people. And we're able to, actually help service some of the people in their homes. And so anyway, John Holgren's doing a great job with that. And that was something that he had come before the county commission and said, can we make application for that? And so I think it's been a real positive move and very helpful. And then also Friday night, there's a community appreciation barbecue. General Monty Roan over at Fort Riley is having that. So I plan to attend, and usually there's about 100 or so people there. And so anyway, it's a great way to kind of forge some friendships with Fort Riley in appreciation for what they do. And they're so involved regionally on an economic basis, but also in the service of our country. But as I said, there's a lot of community partners there as far as from Junction City, Manhattan, and there's always a few of us from Dickinson County that are in attendance. That's all I have.
Thank you, Lynn. Ron?
I'll be attending the, excuse me, juvenile detention meeting in White City this next week here, and we'll go over some pretty serious issues about our facility there in Junction. We rotate about every quarter to a different location just to see what those facilities are like, and it happens to be White City this time, so we'll be meeting there, which is a little closer for me, obviously. So appreciate that. Appreciate the producers out there and the crops and what's going on with that. Things are looking pretty good. Cattle's doing good. Pastures are good. Everything's looking fine out in the country. So just hope the prices can stay stable for these folks. That's what I've got.
Thank you, Ron. Yeah, I'll kind of add to that. On a more personal business note, we're gearing up for fall harvest here. As Ron noted, it would appear that we're going to probably have a pretty decent one if things keep steady. So getting a little busy over on the ag side, starting to gear up for that. I also attended a Driving Dickinson County meeting yesterday. Had a very full attendance meeting. I thought it was great. I can't quite release it yet, but we got a couple of projects that we're working on that I think the community will be pretty excited about. And I think will be very good economic impacts to our community. So looking forward to that. I had one more report. I did not. That is all I have to report for last week. So thank you, everybody. Moving down, we'll go to a brief period of public comments. If County Administrator John Dr. read the rules, please.
For the Open Meetings Act, KSA 75-4317 and 75-4318A, as the elected board, the county commission is not allowed to meet or make any decisions without posting the meeting. They are only allowed to act on items on the agenda which they set. During the regular meeting, the county commission may allow for public comments on items not listed on the approved agenda. It is at the discretion of the county commission if they allow comments on agenda items. If you wish to provide comments, please come forward to the podium and state your name and address. If you are online, raise your hand and we will unmute you. Please state your name and address. Each person may speak for 3 minutes. The allotted time will start after the speaker has given his or her name and address. Public comments shall be addressed to the county commission only and not to the speaker or the audience. Only the county commission will be permitted to ask the speaker questions. The public comment period is not a back and forth discussion with the county commission. You should make your views and input known to them, but it is not a time to ask them questions. You should not expect them to respond to your comments. Comments may express support or agreement with the previous speakers, but in the interest of time, please do not repeat the same information. You may state something to the effect of your name and address and you agree with the previous speaker. It is important to maintain a respectful, non-threatening atmosphere for anyone who would like to speak. Please do not engage in such actions as cheering, booing, clapping, insults, threats, etc. I don't have anybody's hand raised.
Okay. Is there any way we can show that, or is it showing stuff that we can't show?
Well, I could do it Let me see if I can do it like that. I can do it like that if you want
I
That
wouldn't
works.
mind seeing that, just
Okay.
so I can see
to.
it.
Yep, I will do that.
It's fine.
We are going to be updating this. I think I mentioned that, and not use the go-to webinars anymore. We'll go to Zoom, but we just haven't rolled that out quite yet.
I shouldn't make this joke, but I will. We were, over in the EMS building, they got a really nice room.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and move down. I don't see any public comments, so we'll go ahead and move on to the
Well, in
next.
that EMS room, though, it's a good one to have a meeting because they get everybody
It
in
is.
there.
Really good.
So it's not like a
meeting.
Taj Mahal or anything.
Right,
It's-
right.
But it's.
It's late.
Yeah,
Good
maybe-
screen to
maybe
lay
that's
out.
We, during COVID, we held county commission meetings there.
It'd be a good place to do
And
it.
the renovation in particular, we held them there, so.
Be a good place to do it. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to, report from county officers with County Commissioner Janelle Dockendorf.
Commissioners, this is one thing that we had touched on earlier this year. We found out after the Highway Association meeting, but we're starting to replace the weight limit signs. That's through MUTCD, which is the federal transportation guidelines that we have to follow. So, and we're estimating $200 per sign. And that also will mean the bridge inspections will increase as well because they'll have to be GPSed. So that's going to be an additional cost that we're facing. We're
Real
all.
quick on that.
Mhm.
What are, and I know Martin might know this, but maybe you know, what are most our average bridge crossings rated at for weight?
I don't know that, but I'm gonna say that I won't even guess. I will get that number for you.
I would like to know, where I'm going with this conversation.
Yep.
The new X9
Oh, my gosh.
weighs, I think, 58,000 pounds
Yep.
without the duals.
Yeah.
And if they got grain in there,
Yeah. We,
some of these got 400 bushel grain tanks now.
Yeah.
And most kids aren't rolling around with grain in it, but
but you're still, that's the problem that we're facing with our infrastructure because the ag equipment, which I don't even like to bring that up, but it's bigger, larger, heavier, and our bridges are not built for that. They were never built for that because we have bridges that were built in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s.
so do we need, and where I'm going with this is I know there is bridges they can't cross.
Yes,
We need to think about that.
absolutely we do. And that is something on Martin's mind regularly.
I mean, could be talking about, I mean, a big problem.
We had many years ago, we had a bridge that collapsed because they took a grain track across it and they should not have done it. The 1900 Avenue Bridge, they took a piece of equipment across with the arms up and it was a truss bridge, so it was damaged. So that's a $2 million bridge that we're replacing. These are not cheap bridges by any means.
Well, we had one that I can't remember if it was 2-ton or 3-ton. It had been rated down because it was damaged and needed to be repaired
Right,
or replaced
right.
and was down on the Marion County, Dickinson County line.
Mhm.
And so we were down there looking at it with our engineer and someone
Mhm.
from Marion County pulled up and says, is there something going on? And they said, we're looking at the bridge. He said, well, I'm overweight. And he drove right across.
Right across. And that, unfortunately,
And it,
regularly.
yeah, and it was just a 2-ton, so it didn't take much.
Mhm. Yeah, so.
And I'm not trying to discourage people from buying that equipment, but we gotta come up with, okay, if they do have too heavy.
Mhm.
I don't know, my thought is, do we,
Designated routes?
yeah, how do we show them where to go? What do we do?
Mhm.
I think it's gonna
Start
become a
planning
bigger
some bridges.
conversation.
Well, and that's why we're posting the weight limit signs. And we, at minimum, there's 2, 1 on each side, but there possibly is 4 depending on where they're at in the intersections. So, but that's $200 a sign. I don't remember now. I want to say there's at least
And a
90.
ways too.
Yeah, because that's for the sign and the post. And then,
No, I'm saying $200 beats.
yes, yes,
$20
200 feet.
bridge.
Yes, yes.
So do we need to go farther back with another sign?
Maybe
As a
we do.
warning?
Yes, and that's where the 4 signs could come in place. So, and this has to be completed by 2029.
Okay,
So we'll do it in phases, so we're mindful of our budget, but it's just an additional expense that has been handed down to us, if you will. So,
But if there is a bridge that someone exceeds the capacity
mhm,
weight limit and then the bridge is damaged,
mhm.
that can go back on the
I assume it goes on their
the
insurance.
vehicle.
It goes on their
that
insurance,
drove
yes.
across it.
But we have to be able to prove it, that occurred too. So,
Most people's car insurance doesn't cover $3 million bridges.
no, they do
Might
not.
cover $500,000 in incidentals. I mean,
Right,
If you're lucky.
right.
No, and that's an issue, and there's also discussion that if a bridge gets damaged to a threshold, that truck
Mhm.
may make it across the bridge.
Right.
So it'll be the next one that comes.
It'll be the
And
next
I'll go
one.
deeper than that. Combines that are paid off aren't gonna have insurance.
Right.
No, I understand that.
You know, I mean,
But that's.
But we want the
something-
safety, and I think
Right.
you make a good point. We need to
Mhm.
think, what does the future hold as far as what type of provisions need to be
my thought was
made?
maybe a little education behind it too, if we know
Mhm.
this bridge is a low weighted bridge, what do we do? Do we send a letter out to all the people in that area going, hey, if you're going over this weight, here's your reroute?
Mhm.
That was my thought.
Right.
And just at least try to do something proactively, so we're not looking at a bridge collapse and somebody hurt. At least say we tried, I guess, was my thought. I don't know, maybe this isn't a problem yet, but I do know these new ones, we went and saw some. They're 60,000 pounds and then they got 450 bushel grain carts in them. You're talking, that's 90,000 pounds rolling down the road.
We only need one new bridge in my district.
I guess for you, it's talking about.
Get on the start path, so.
But right. So it's something that obviously is on our minds that we'll be talking about regularly, I'm sure. So.
And I think the producer's not gonna wanna go, their life could end also.
Yeah,
So they're more aware of it than we are, to be honest with you, because that's the ground they live on. That's where they work.
But the only thing I'm trying to get at is, it's the grain cart driver may not know that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The football player kid working, he don't care.
There's some
You may
of
not.
harvest or.
That's where I'm going with it.
Worst incident we had was just on the borderline between Dickinson County and Morris County, where a tractor went across the creek. The son was in the first tractor and the father was following him. Tractor turned over on top of the son in the creek.
Right.
All Hanson, the son, and that was pretty tragic.
Yes.
So our rural areas really, you guys, they see it, we hear it, but it's not only bridges, but just crossings.
Yes.
Or just not, I don't know how we're gonna do it.
Well, our roads weren't built for this when they weren't put in.
No, and so how do you get grain out of a field to, we all benefit from that.
That X9, you can't haul it all on it goes over DOT limit.
Oh, yes, that's a good.
I'm just giving you an,
Yeah.
we have to break that thing down.
Yeah.
To haul it.
So.
We can't even go on the interstates with it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Exactly. Yeah.
See, in my day, it was the pickup trucks hauled a lot of grain.
Yes.
And then a farm truck that was a big deal. Well, it's all semis today now.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it's completely
For the
different.
belly dump trucks.
Yes.
We use them for our rock. We use them ourselves.
Yeah.
They're not scaling that before people leave the grain pit.
No.
Anyway, which is pretty serious deal.
Just with the weight limits available for the public.
I'd have to look at the maps that we've got.
Maybe just specific to that.
It'd be very crowded because we've got structures too, which is part of it. So we've got 289 bridges and then 1,500 plus structures, and that's county structures. That does not include all the townships.
So maybe by township instead of whole county.
We'd have to go out and mark all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Lynn had touched on this, but it was very much appreciated the visit with Senator Marshall and his staff for our mobile health, integrated health and community paramedicine program. And kudos to John and Alex and Janae and Brenda and Dave for that project. We're in our second year. It was a grant that we received from the Patterson Health Foundation, just shy of $400,000. And that is to stand that program up. And they've worked very hard on that. It's been a huge benefit to our citizens. They've had, 32 applicants that have signed up for it. There are 8 currently in the program. And it's that gap between when they are released from the hospital and they go home. So they've helped with medicine management, making sure they're taking the right medications, making sure they're taking them on a regular basis. They've been able to find them a less expensive version because some people just stop taking their meds because they're so costly. Making sure that they are not interfering with one another. They have conversations with the doctor, and this is doctor referral. They help them with fall management in the house, making sure that things are out of their way. They built a ramp, found a ramp and built a ramp for a family that had some mobility issues with a child that they can no longer safely take care of. fire detection, smoke detectors, batteries, things like that. So we appreciate Senator Marshall coming in and talking about that. And again, it's because of the work that John and our EMS department have done across the state that I think was a big part of this. I mean, there was 3 counties in Kansas that were asked to participate: Ottawa, us, and Norwich. So, which in fact, John is presenting at the annual KEMSA, which is the Kansas Emergency Services Association, the conference this week, and in particular on the MIH program, and he'll be doing that Saturday. The Chancey talked about this, but the emergency manager and our emergency communications director taught her an intruder class at St. Andrew's School. Very, very well attended. And the paint striping has been completed. If you've seen that, it was 92 miles. They did that very quickly, painted the white and yellow stripes. And I'll just go ahead and let everybody know, Martin had brought it up. The 1160, 1100 Avenue Bridge, the deck has been poured. They're pouring the approaches, so it's a 28-day cure time. So hopefully the middle of September, the bridge will be open, or the road will be open. So do you have any questions for me?
I don't believe so.
I'll just bring up briefly, or maybe you want to mention, because Marcus brought it up in our session earlier on department heads, that on the sales tax revenues.
Sales tax revenues are up about 3% over last year, which is good news. We appreciate that. So, and then also Marcus brought up the budget hearing, the R&R hearing, the budget hearing for the fiscal 2027 budget will be next Thursday at 11:05 in this room. So is there anything else on the sales tax that you wanted to mention?
No, I think that's
okay.
Covers that.
I'm sorry, there is no R&R hearing, sorry, since we did not exceed.
But I mean, other than most everyone received a notice. And so Jennifer, you might be able to explain that when you get into your report, that's a little bit why that happens. Because you're the one that does mail it out.
Yep.
But I think it's confusing to some people, and we try to keep it as the clarity there.
Yeah.
And it's something that was handed to us. I mean, it wasn't our idea to send those out.
Yep.
But
since we already hold a budget.
I'm sorry if I'm taking some of your report away, so.
No.
You're fine. That moves us right down. So notices of communication, county clerk notification.
So as a reminder, tomorrow's county canvass for the primary 2026 election is tomorrow at 9 a.m. here in the county commissioner room at the county courthouse at 109 East First Street here in Abilene. We received a notice that the Dickinson County Recovery Court graduation celebration is upcoming on September 9th, 2026 at 3:30 p.m. Also here at the county courthouse in courtroom 1 at 109 East First Street, Abilene, Kansas 67410. We also received another notice that Central Kansas Mental Health Center has a youth campus grand opening, ribbon cutting, and open house. That will be Thursday, September 3rd, 2026, from 4 to 6 p.m. at 124 Iowa Avenue, Salina, Kansas. The ribbon cutting will start at 4 p.m., followed by a community open house. And as Lynn mentioned, he would like me to touch on the R&R notices. The R&R notices are required by state law that we provide a notice to anybody that has residential property tax or personal property tax, that there's a proposed increase at where they are located. You'll see on your statements, there's different entities that are affected by where you live, starting with state, county, and then trickles on to like the hospital, any school district that you could be in. The first top area will show you the property location, and then followed by that will be prior year appraised and current year appraised, which will be in dark gray, and then prior year assessed and current year assessed, which will be in the white. And that's how they come up with the figures for the proposed tax would be a current year assessed. The first column below that, where all the entities are listed, it says 2025 tax. It'll tell you what you paid in taxes in 2025. At the total, there'll be the totals. The next column would be 2020 tax at the revenue neutral rate. That's what the entity would have collected staying at revenue neutral. And then the 2026 proposed tax is what they are expected to receive at the budget that they are currently at. The next column will tell you the difference and the proposed tax is exceeding the 25 tax. After that, the amount of revenue from property tax levied, the 2026 total proposed for that entire area, not just where you live. And then the difference or change in revenue is just as it explains, is the amount and the percent difference. Also on the front page, you would have seen the hearings. If they were required to have a hearing, that means they are exceeding the revenue neutral rate, which will tell you the time and date that you can attend those budget hearings. If it says no hearing required, they are just having a normal budget hearing and they're staying under the revenue neutral rate. Also, if you would have any questions, you are more than welcome to call our office at 785-263-3774, option 2. We can explain anything in further detail.
Okay. I'll briefly comment on this. I had a text that said, told me you were lowering tax, and the notice came from us, and I had to, and then I texted back and said, well, turn the page. And then they said, oh yeah, I did. I figured it out. It looks like it's you. I said, well, the county is who collects all of the tax.
Mhm.
So it's, the notice is going to come from the clerk. So I could try to explain it.
Yeah.
And also what I've been seeing on notices is, yes, part of their taxes could have went down, especially on the county side, because you're going under R&R, but their appraised value has went up.
Yep.
So you're going to be affected that way as well. So you may not save anything if your value went up enough.
Yep, I saw that. The ones that I was looking at for my area, it was about an average of a 2.3% reduction if you take every entity into account.
Mhm.
Any questions there, Lynn?
No, thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So I probably need to read this now then. We'll go ahead and move down to official business for today. The Board of County Commissioners is the County Board of Canvassers for the August 14th, 2026 primary election canvass. Commissioner Roller and Commissioner Peterson will both be absent from that canvass. Under KSA 25-3102, because more than one member of the Board of Canvassers will be prevented from serving, I, as the remaining member of the board, and in consultation with the county election officer, appoint 2 electors to serve in their place on August 14, 2026 canvass. I confirm that I have consulted with Jennifer Gayton, we did so this morning in the study session, the county clerk and the county election officer regarding these appointments. To fill the position of Commissioner Roller on the County Board of Canvassers for the primary election canvass on August 14, 2026, I appoint Marcus Rothschild, a qualified elector of the county, to serve in Commissioner Roller's place. Do I need to stop and vote, or do we read this whole thing and then vote?
I think you can read this whole thing, and so you don't have to vote
No vote.
either.
No,
No,
it's
it's
just
just
a
that
statement.
you're appointing. Yep.
Furthermore, to fill the position of Commissioner Peterson on the County Board of Canvassers for the primary election canvass on August 14, 2026, I appoint Marcia Schneider, a qualified elector of the county, to serve in Commissioner Peterson's place. Each appointed elector shall serve on the County Board of Canvassers for the August 14, 2026 primary election canvass. These appointments will be confirmed on the record at the opening of that canvass. Full stop. Okay. Next order of business is we got a letter from, I believe, Annabelle Eaton. I'm trying to find the letter, sorry. Oh my gosh. I'll go ahead and read it on behalf, and then we'll do the appointment. On behalf of Center Township, I am writing to formally request approval for Curtis Thomas to assume the position of Center Township Clerk. After consideration of needs of Center Township and responsibilities associated with the position, we believe Mr. Thomas is well suited to serve as the Township Clerk. His appointment will, help ensure continuity and proper administration of Township records, business, and other duties associated with the office. We respectfully request that the Dickinson County Board of Commissioners approve the appointment of Curtis Thomas to Center Township Clerk, effective upon approval. That came straight from Annabelle Eaton, Center Township trustee, and I believe she was a clerk before.
I'll make a motion to accept Curtis Thomas as clerk for the township.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded. Any discussion? I'm gonna add one thing. This is coming common.
Yes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I want to go ahead and also thank Curtis for wanting to step up and take the role on. So if you want to, if you would let him know that.
Mhm.
I believe that concludes our business for today. Any other matters of discussions, commissioners? I would move to adjourn.
Second?
We are adjourned. Thank you for a good meeting. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Well,
Oh.
you guys.
Jennifer and I.
You guys.
Yeah, we're looking at that.
Linda, I'll be in the same airplane.